Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Who the hell am I?
I'm a construction worker.
I have to go to the bathroom. I said, be right back.
I'm a cop, you idiot!
Pasta.
Oh, I'm Detective John Kimball.
Who is your daddy?
Answer the question!
And what does he do?
Put that cookie down! Now!
I'm a little gassy.
Yeah, me too. I just drank a whole bunch of LaCroix, and it's trying to crawl its way back out of me.
Yeah,
it's trying to escape my belly.
It wants life, but you don't give it life. You keep it down. You're its rancor.
That's right. I swallow it in my horrible maw.
Yeah.
To be digested for 1,000 years.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, speaking of swallowing and digestion, sure.
Yeah.
Welcome. Oh my God. Welcome, folks, to Into the Mr. Universe.
Hey.
How are you?
How's
you
it going?
been?
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while
I don't
since
know if
Eraser.
it's been a while.
I don't know. It's been a couple of weeks at least.
At least. I mean, this is our new quarter, of our new our business quarter. This is our first Mr. Universe. If that means anything to anyone.
Yeah, I'm sure people I'm sure people follow the show according to business quarters.
Yeah,
instead of like seasons.
I'm one of your hosts.
Gotta check out Q2 2022, man. It's when the show really hits its stride. I'm Tom Ryman.
All right, we said our names.
We did.
Yeah, we're working. We should do like Marvel reveals where we show like all the shows coming up, and they're just the shows people know we do. But we could do like a big reveal, like an Apple
Hypecast
reveal.
2026,
where we are
December 28th. Hypecast.
People are like, yep. That's what I thought.
It's a Friday. Yeah.
Big old thank you to Norm from Cheers.
Hey, thanks.
Thank you, Norm. Norm is our Patreon producer who tasked us with a very basic, well, I would actually say complex but fun task, which is we are charting the Arnold Schwarzenegger cinematic universe. We are charting all the movies that Schwarzenegger was in and what kind of man he was in that universe. And we're discovering things about him as an actor. He
contained multitudes.
Yeah. And boy, as Tom said, we just went through Eraser. So that means we're in we're not in the peak years.
Arnold has peaked. We're past the peak of Arnold.
It's hard to say because I don't want to say that like if Arnold's listening. I don't want him to imply that he is peaked as a person. I just mean
I'm sure he would argue that was probably when he was governor.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he would be like, no, it was when I shot the T-1000.
Yeah.
I killed him.
What we're really talking about is the rise and fall of the action hero specifically.
Yeah.
And Arnold kind of representing that.
They all did. I mean, they all fell out about right around 96, 97. Like Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Van Damme, to a lesser degree, Seagal. I think Seagal was already gone at this point because he only really had like one movie.
Yeah, and the movies kind of struggled a little. We're starting.
It wasn't cool anymore. Like it was like the fad was over.
Well,
like I think the 80s action fad was sort of like past.
Some of it comes down to because I would compare it to superhero, really anything like this. Like slashers, the mystery slashers like Scream, it all comes down to like how many different stories can you really tell? And I think we're at that point where we're like, I think we've told most of the versions of this story of like, terrorists versus one man, they kidnapped their family, yada yada yada. Where it's like we all kind of knew how these worked.
Yeah. By the time we get to Collateral Damage, it's almost embarrassing. Actually, I would call Collateral Damage embarrassing. That's an embarrassing film.
Yeah, and I think The Fatigue is just as similar as Superhero. The difference is that Superheroes compacted like 30 years worth of movies in 10, whereas like these Schwarzenegger movies, like there were multiple ones a year, but like it's spread out a little more. You know what I mean?
Not that much more, really. It's only about.
Yeah,
it's still just like about
Stallone and all the other action.
It's still only about 10 or 15 years, but yeah, it was like similarly. I think we mentioned this during Eraser. The Eraser episode, but these also used to be like some of the biggest movies. Like an Arnold movie was like guaranteed one of the biggest movies of the year.
And unlike superhero movies, we were kids for these, so we look back at them very fondly. Like I'm sure people will look back at like, Wonder Woman 84 or whatever. Like it will where it's like, it wasn't perfect, but I was a kid for that.
There's a couple of moments in that movie that have aged about 1,000 years in the past 5 months.
Troubling film, yeah.
That film is so dated.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you to Norm. And we are at 1996's Jingle All the Way.
Jingle Jangle.
This was written by Randy Cornfield. I just point that
That
out.
sounds like a fake name.
It does. It's corn with a K. Cornfield.
Nope.
It's like a porn name.
That's like a dude named Randy Cornfield with a C panicking when he's trying to come up with a fake name.
Yeah, 100%. It was all right. So it was written.
Just real quick. Anytime you introduce yourself, if the first name is Randy, I automatically don't believe you.
Yes.
Nobody's actually named Randy.
It's a fake name.
Randy's a fake name.
If you're listening to this and your name is Randy,
no, it isn't.
Yeah, you don't exist.
You're wrong, actually, Tony. I see through
you. But it was also rewritten by Chris Columbus of Harry Potter fame.
Yeah.
It was
many
originally,
other things.
Yeah, it was originally about Cabbage Patch Kids specifically. Like, well, not the script, but that was what it was inspired by. And basically the hysteria over toys. Chris Columbus kind of rewrote it to make it more of a satire about commercialization. It was... this is a fact that I don't quite understand. Quote, delays to Fox's reboot of Planet of the Apes allowed Schwarzenegger to come on board the film. Does that mean he was originally supposed to be in the Planet of the Apes?
Yeah.
That would have been so much better.
Yeah. I had forgotten about that, actually. Like, he was attached for a while before Mark Wahlberg got in there.
That's so much better. Then... Yeah. Sinbad was cast later. It was originally intended for Joe Pesci. And I'm like, I feel that.
Man.
I feel that real hard.
Man.
Yeah. That makes sense. So we're gonna...
It's already a pretty dark character, so that would...
It is.
That would have made it even darker.
It really would have. A lot of improv on Sinbad's behalf, because I assume that's just his vibe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It also has Jake Lloyd.
Yeah. This is, I think, kind of the only other movie he really did.
Jake Lloyd?
Yeah, right? It's this one. Yeah, it's this one in Phantom Menace.
Star Wars. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk about the plot.
There's one thing I wanted to point out that's just weird about this. Is you mentioned it was inspired by Cabbage Patch Kids. Which had like a similar like Tickle Me Elmo style run, and even that is a freaking 30-year-old reference. So like Tickle Me Elmo was like this must-have toy of the season for like I think 95. It was the Christmas right before this came out.
I mean, so, like, for kids today,
it's more directly based on Tickle Me Elmo, but like the Turbo Man action figure that they made for this movie, they released it as a toy, and it became one of the scarce toys. It was like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Man.
Amazing. Yeah, for kids today, this is the PS5. It's the PS5 equivalent.
Only it didn't cost $500.
Right. Well, unless you bought it.
Unless you bought it from Jim Belushi.
Jim Belushi, yeah.
And Paul White in a warehouse.
Tom, you grew up on this film, right?
I didn't grow up on this film. I was 13 when it came out.
That's
But I've
sort of
I've
like
seen
it,
it
yeah.
a lot mostly because of my younger stepbrother.
Okay.
He was a little kid when this movie came out. And like he was I think my parents got him a Tickle Me Elmo and stuff. Like he was right at the right age for all this stuff. So it's a movie I've seen a lot.
Okay. That makes sense. I only saw it in my adult years. I find this movie to be incredibly stressful.
This movie is fucking bonkers. Like this movie is out of its mind.
It bombed. by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think that's controversial. Like watching this movie, I'm like, yeah.
I
This
see
would
why
bomb.
it bombed. It is so weird. It is a weird ass screenplay.
It's kind of cynical.
Well, yeah.
It because of it's being a satire about Christmas. Basically, there's nobody in this universe that I like.
There's
I
not
mean, I
really
guess
a likable person.
Jake Lloyd, I guess, but like, I mean, children don't count. He
They're
has
not
been
people.
ruined by the world. Yeah, and even that, the other kid sucks. Everybody is kind of
My turbo
Yeah.
man's been under the tree for months now. It's like, shut up,
everybody's
kid.
like shitty and competitive. Like there's just mobs that will just beat people to death in this if prompted.
Yeah, there are
Like,
mobs
it's-
that will rip Chris Parnell limb from limb.
Yes, there really
Did you
are.
see him? Did you see Chris Parnell?
I did. Young Chris Parnell.
Yeah, Chris Parnell.
This has a few cameos here and there.
Yeah, they're scattered about. The motorcycle cop is somebody, but I don't remember.
Yeah, isn't a Gene Parmesan there?
Oh yeah, Martin Mull is the radio host.
Yeah. With a ponytail because that's what
Yeah.
radio hosts looked like in the 90s.
Yeah, they all
That was
look like
by
Martin
law.
Mull.
Yeah.
I will say that after this movie, that's all I pictured.
What?
Where radio DJs looking like
Looking like him.
looking like
yeah.
this, or like on the Beavis and Butthead episode, it's a similar joke.
Oh,
Where
right.
They go to like the radio station, and it's just some old nerd.
Oh, then there's the Wayne's World version.
With
The
Harry
handsome-
Shearer.
Yeah, Harry Shearer and the handsome guy. So I think that's one of the problems. This is a cruel movie. Arnold Schwarzenegger is kind of shitty,
He is.
and we'll get more into it. But my feeling was like it didn't feel like he earned anything. Like his arc is he basically he's a workaholic mattress salesman, which I was like
He's the mattress king, man.
yeah, forgive me if I'm wrong here, but like a mattress salesman is the kind of job you get so you don't become a workaholic to me, where it's like that's like a 9-to-5 job, right? It's like
Yeah, are there mattress emergencies that you need to be
Yeah.
dealing with on Christmas Eve?
right. And so like I don't know, it seems
And
like he
he's
just
having
doesn't
like a
wanna be
huge
home.
there's like a huge holiday party, and it's like, really? Mattresses?
Yeah. Just go home. Just go home, Arnold.
Yeah,
just go to your kid's
They're
karate.
not, the
thing.
mattresses aren't going anywhere.
Yeah. And he's just kind of sucks. He doesn't seem interested. Like they try to do that 90s thing where it's like he's not around, but when he is around, he's really good with kids. We loved that. Like right, like Liar Liar. There's so many of these. I wrote a few down. I can't see where I wrote them down. Hook's another one.
Yeah.
Like you're great. You're a funny guy. You're zany. You're just
Mrs.
not,
Doubtfire.
you're not present. But so
Just,
like
pretty much every divorced dad movie. The Santa
Yeah, but-
Claus with Tim Allen.
he's just more like a dirtbag, I guess.
He's just not very considerate. Like he's a pretty thoughtless guy.
Yeah, like
He doesn't take anybody else's needs or point of view into consideration.
right, and I would argue he never really learns.
Not really. The
he
only
gets
thing he learns is to relinquish the toy at the end, but he doesn't even. Jake Lloyd
He doesn't do it. Yeah, and like he just says he learns, but like basically like the premise of this film is that he's never around. It's Christmas Eve, and his wife's like, "You got the toy for him, right?" And he's like, "Oh God, I didn't." Doesn't tell her, and it's like, dude, it's Christmas Eve. Did you not wonder what you were getting your own kid? Like he seemed like this is the first time he even thought about Christmas presents for his kid.
Right.
And it's like, Jesus Christ, did your wife feels like a mom, do all the shopping and you just checked out. It just feels like he sucks.
Dave,
And then-
he can't make a karate tournament, so I'm pretty sure he has Rita Wilson do all the shopping for him.
Yeah. And so what you
He's
think
not
is
paying
like,
attention to his family.
right? And you look at a movie like Liar Liar, where like it's the same starting premise, but they punish him and they make him like, I'm not saying it's perfect, but they give him an arc, right?
Also, well, Jim Carrey is more explicitly an asshole in Liar Liar.
Yeah.
Like, he's a bad guy that becomes good at the end. Or becomes
it's similar
better.
vibes with like Cary Elwes as the other guy. We have Phil Hartman.
Right, but
which
Cary
we talked
Elwes
about.
isn't sinister in Liar Liar. Like, Phil
No.
Hartman's the best part of this movie, I think.
Yeah.
Well, actually, him and
But
Sinbad's pretty fun.
That's the thing, is they have to make Phil Hartman like a bigger villain.
Right.
Than him.
He has to be just a total scumbag who's trying to fuck his way through the cul-de-sac.
Yeah. And basically, so what happens is Arnold goes on this romp to find this toy and runs into Sinbad, who is, and we'll get to that, just terrorist.
A
He's
man
a villain.
at complete rock bottom.
Yeah. And like you think like, okay, is the idea like he's the cautionary tale? But then they just sort of compete against each other in like really mean, spiteful ways. Like it's not enough that they get the toy. At times they're like preventing the other from succeeding.
Yeah.
Like when he calls the radio station, Sinbad like unplugs the phone, or like when
comes in with
Sinbad
a
gets the
bomb.
ball. Yeah. Like it's not enough. Like it's not enough that they win. They want the other one to lose, and so it just feels mean spirited.
Well, it's there's an exchange at the beginning, and it's because Arnold is shitty to him. Like, Arnold makes an enemy
Yeah.
out of him. So after that point, he's like, no, I tried to be your friend. I wanted to help you, but now it's war.
Right. And then on top of it, everybody sucks. Everybody is mean around
Yeah,
them.
it's satirical, like you said, but it's maybe not as obviously satirical as it could
Right.
be, because like the elevator pitch is a different movie, right? The elevator pitch is two dads scrambling to find the same toy on Christmas Eve.
Which is a good idea.
You can picture that movie in your head. That's
Honestly,
not
like-
really what this movie is, which is weird because that's how they sold this movie, but that's not really what it is.
Not really. Honestly, I do get like you feel the satire. It's just that there's no break. There's no completion. There's no like
It's just that
humans
it's-
are okay after all. But,
Yeah,
you know.
it's just that it's so dressed up in a slapstick kids movie that it's like it's just
Yeah.
a weird place for this kind of satire.
For sure. And then at the end, he accidentally becomes
Turbo Man,
part of a Turbo Man parade,
Which is
like he lucks completely
the
into
wildest. He has a working jetpack.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
They ask you to they ask us to accept a lot of things in the last 10 minutes of this movie.
Yeah, it suddenly becomes like Baby's Day Out level of cartoon, you know?
It becomes completely unhinged. He becomes actual Turbo Man with a working jetpack zooming through the parade and actually fighting Sinbad on a rooftop like it's a superhero fight.
Yeah, it is a more realistic to believe that Arnold Schwarzenegger died, right? Like he got shot by the cop or something happened, or when he saw his wife almost bang Phil Hartman, he just snapped. And what we're seeing is like a fantasy in his brain
Right,
get played out.
that flood of chemicals his brain released to try to wipe that away. No, you
Yeah.
didn't see that. No, you're Turbo
Yeah.
Man flying through the air. You're your son's
Exactly.
hero.
What he's really doing is beating Phil Hartman to death while
he's already
imagining all that.
he's already has his thumbs buried so deep in his eye sockets they're scraping
Yeah.
the back of his skull.
Smiling and whispering,
Right.
"I'm Turbo Man" over and over
It's
again.
like the Simpsons thing where like he's already dead.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man. But what the way it ends is basically they then hand him the doll and say like, you can pick a boy to give it to. And so basically he just gets saved. He just gets completely rescued from his own shittiness. And then he says like, I will never do that again. And it's like, I don't know, man, you just got it handed to you. Like I like watching the movie, I felt like I wanted him to be punished. I was like, I kind of want your wife to leave you. I kind of want you to like show up empty-handed and be like, I fucked up. Like that's what you need to do. But the movie just rescues him. They just go, it's okay. Here's Turbo Man. And it's like, fuck, man, he didn't learn anything. He didn't get punished. Nothing.
I mean, he
nothing
gets
like
a little bit but yeah, you're right.
yeah.
And then Sinbad gets led away in handcuffs because he has taken a child hostage
Yeah.
and almost dropped him off a roof.
Right. Like you'd think Arnold there would be a moment where he looks at Sinbad and goes like, what have I become? You know, like I don't want to be this guy or something like that. But they never really do that.
He does that. He has that moment when it's when he breaks into Phil Hartman's house and tries to steal his son's
right.
Turbo Man, and that when the whole
Right.
thing comes to a head and blows up in his face when he gets caught breaking into Phil Hartman's house to steal
Yeah.
the toy.
But at that point, it's like, I don't know, you've done worse things today. I
think that's the worst.
It's pretty bad.
That's the worst
but-
thing he does, I think.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he does help. I don't know, the crime Santas feels like a low point for me. Is going to like the docks.
He's buying a toy from scalpers, man. That's not
Yeah.
that bad.
Yeah, I guess not.
He didn't know it was a Santa crime ring.
That's fair.
Isn't Tony Cox there too? There's a lot of cameos in this
There's
movie.
a lot. Yeah, all behind them beards. I also think
dick your holes, bub.
another fundamental problem with this movie, in my opinion, and this is subjective, is I think nobody really grooves with each other. Like Joe Pesci, I don't know if he would have been better than Sinbad. I don't blame Sinbad. It's more of like the combination of Sinbad and Schwarzenegger. I felt no chemistry between them. Like he just sort of screams at Schwarzenegger and Schwarzenegger kind of flinches. And I felt it across the board. Like even when he like calls his kid, their conversation, it feels like they're talking. It's like two different tones. Like it just feels like no one kind of fits together in a scene. Like there's no groove. There's no chemistry. That's the word I'm thinking of. I didn't feel any chemistry in this movie.
Yeah. I think maybe I agree. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's no one's fault necessarily. It just gave me this vibe of like it doesn't feel like anybody's having a good time making this movie. And there's no scenes where anybody really is like doing a really masterful comedic back and forth or anything like that. It just feels a little like meh, you know, like I just didn't get any chemistry from anybody because everybody feels opposed to each other.
Right.
Everybody's
It's
mad at
all
each other
all
or
the chemistry is like
uncomfortable with each other.
adversarial.
Yeah.
Like Arnold and Sinbad have chemistry, I guess, in the way that like a good guy and the bad guy do, but like even then
It's too mean.
yeah, it's really like yeah.
I don't know. And
I think it was I don't know, Joe Pesci would have been pretty dark, but
I think he
guess-
might have leaned into it a little more. Like,
Yeah, he might have had more
Sinbad's
fun with
almost
it.
sad. Like he's playing it almost like a tragic character.
Sinbad is playing it tragic.
Yeah,
You kind of want him to get the toy.
you do, or to be like put out of his misery or something.
Yeah. It just seems like there's nothing good in his life.
Yeah, he keeps talking about his family, and I'm like, I don't know if you have a family.
I don't know if you're John Candying us in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I don't know if they're still alive.
Right. Like you just seem like such a tragic man.
Yeah.
And so like this movie ultimately like just made me feel a little sad.
The ending is so weird.
Yeah.
The Turbo Man superhero fight, Sinbad getting arrested.
Right. And then the kid goes, here's the Turbo Man. I'm like, I don't know if the cops are going to let him keep
He's
that.
going to jail. Like,
Yeah, they're just going to beat him and take it. Like, yeah, I don't know, man. And it's Christmas Eve. So it's like, even if he shows up to his family like 3 days later, like I got Turbo Man, they're like, yeah, you also got arrested, and we had to bail
you got
you
arrested
out.
on Christmas.
Yeah, we had to pawn Turbo Man.
Yeah, the
to bail
toy
you
is
out.
irrelevant.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. It all just felt a little like it's just like kind of a grimy film.
Yeah, it's more mean spirited than you might think.
Yeah, it's
And
fascinating.
it never really grooves. It never really grooves with that initial offer, that elevator pitch. Like that's not the movie it really is. It's not really about two dads fighting over a toy. That's like maybe 4 scenes, I think.
Maybe
It's really more about they spend more time with like Arnold and his family and Phil Hartman and these other characters like the dock Santas and the motorcycle cop. Like Sinbad's just one of many obstacles in Arnold's way.
Yeah. And that's the other thing is I think they want this idea that look at all these things that holds him up. But like it's always his fault. Like the first cop experience is him driving in the breakdown lane, and then he's like, I got pulled over, and it's like, yeah, you didn't you? Because you were, and he keeps like they destroy everywhere they go. Like every set piece, they destroy
the building.
Yeah. And it's never anybody else's fault. Like it's like the radio station. They just destroy that guy's fucking radio station. Like, and they're just it's like I think there's this feeling of like, oh, look at this cop. He keeps the worst luck. He keeps running into this cop, and it's like, yeah, because he keeps doing crime. Like the cop keeps showing up. There's like one time where he accidentally backs into the bike, where it's like it's not really his fault, but I mean he's still backed into the bike, so it's kind of his fault. It's legally his fault, I guess. It just like I don't know. It's a very odd movie.
This is a real head scratcher.
Yeah.
It should be a classic.
It should be on paper.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, this premise.
With Arnold, like...
Yeah. Solid fucking premise.
Yeah, this is a good idea. They should do it again.
Yeah. Well, should we talk about his character? Let's talk about technically not Arnold.
Howard.
Howard Langston, the mattress salesman.
I have never believed anything less, Arnold.
Yeah. If that man
Howard
said that, I'd be
Langston.
like, you are a sleeper agent, sir.
The mattress king of the Midwest.
It's so funny because like later when he's in the Turbo Man outfit, he's like talking to his kid and his wife, and he's like, oh, hello. And she's like, who are you, stranger? And I'm like, you know who that is.
Yeah.
Like there's no way you don't know what that voice is. No one else has that voice.
He's walking around like, I saved your son from Dr. Brainhead. Here he is.
Yeah.
Here's
Like,
Galp,
you
your
think there's
Christmas
another
is
Austrian
nice.
Muscle Man?
Yeah. Who could he be?
It's amazing. And like we said, he's like scummy. He's
completely self-centered. Like I said earlier, he just doesn't. Nobody else enters into his thoughts at any point.
I think they needed, and I'm sure he's sick of this. But like when it's like mattress salesman dad, and the idea is again, he's fun with his kids. I think they honestly needed like a Jim Carrey type for that premise. They could still use him in this if he was like a no-nonsense cop who is a workaholic, and he still had his kid, and he had to like because they did the thing where he's like silly with his kid, and it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger trying to be silly with a kid, and I'm like, I don't know, he's so much better as like the straight man with this stuff.
Yeah, that might have been a funnier thing to do. That never occurred to me.
Yeah, play into it. Use Arnold the way people love to use Arnold as a serious man,
Yeah, I think he was trying to, he's transitioning into other things, or trying to at least.
Right.
Like we were accepting of Arnold doing other things that weren't action at this point.
Right.
So like the idea of him doing a family comedy was like, oh, that should be fun. He's funny in movies.
It's just funny to watch him try to play like everyman family dude.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, he's good with his kid.
Right, you're right. And all the comedies we've watched
salesman.
before, that's always where they come from, right? Like he's basically the straight man in Twins, but they do it in a very funny way because he's totally naive and earnest. And then Kindergarten Cop, he's like what you said, he's the no-nonsense kind of dirtbag cop.
Yeah.
And then
Junior, he's a
he's
scientist.
a straight
he's
man,
serious.
but they make it work because he's so like no nonsense. It makes sense,
right?
Like Last Action Hero, he's just kind of spoofing himself.
Yeah, he is capable of being funny, but they start from the perspective that he's a funny guy, and I'm like, I don't know if that's.
I don't know if
how I see him.
Yeah, I think Arnold has a good sense of humor about himself. Or is at least able to, but yeah, I don't know if he's able to be funny, but I don't know if you'd be like, it's not like when you cast Ryan Reynolds in a movie, you're like, well,
exactly.
He's going to add some jokes to this. You don't cast Arnold for that reason.
That's exactly the vibe. Like later he knocks down Sinbad and he goes, oh, poor baby, like sassy. And I was like, Arnold, what are you doing? You being sarcastic? That's
Yeah.
weird. That's weird to me.
Oh, I liked it.
I'm not. Yeah,
the little
well, I'm not
giggle
saying
he does at the end of it and runs off.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's not capable of it. It's just it's a weird setting for that, right? Yeah. Like Ryan Reynolds is a good example of like I could see Ryan Reynolds nailing this role.
Oh yeah, he should have been. Well, yeah, he could be either dad, but he'd probably be. Yeah, he'd
like a
nail it as
sarcastic
Howard
jerk.
Langston.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. They almost try to like. They only really reference the fact that he's jacked once. Like,
Yeah, you
Phil
can't
Hartman
lift
goes,
your
"You
way out
can't
of
bench
this,
press
yeah."
your way out of this one," but he delivers
Yeah.
it in such a fucking funny way, like
Oh,
with his
yeah.
jaw set.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Phil Hartman's terrifying in this in a different way. But that's
and then later, like Rita Wilson sees Howard in the Turbo Man suit. She says, "Howard, Howard." It's like, do you not notice that he works out? He's your husband.
Yeah, what is happening? This
You're
is
just
why
now
you married
noticing
him.
he's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. It's so weird. I think the combination of him being muscular and like built and then kind of a scumbag who like isn't afraid to like break the law. Like that's the thing about him is like, again, the driving in the breakdown lane. I know that's a small thing, but it shows that he's like doesn't have morals. He doesn't have a moral compass.
He's got that upper middle class
Yeah.
entitlement where he's like, well,
And there's
I can drive. I pay my taxes. I never get in trouble. I can drive in the breakdown lane. It's like, no, you can't.
Right.
Why are you special?
And so it's this combination of him being kind of a scumbag and muscular and wanting something petty that when he grabs the toy store employees, I was scared for them.
You mean when he grabs Chris Parnell?
Yeah. Where you're like, I don't like this combination of this like man who can kill you. And then he's like kind of a scumbag and he doesn't seem to care about human life.
You're right. But they do the thing that you said earlier that with like they had to make Phil Hartman worse. They made like Chris Parnell and his coworker like so obnoxious and
Foolishly
insulting
weird,
and mean. Like they were so mean to him. It's like, yeah, they deserved to be frightened by Arnold for the way they spoke to him.
But again, it's like it all feels. It's like watching a drug deal gone wrong, where you're like, everybody be cool. Where I'm like just scared for everything because it's like,
everybody be calm.
Yeah,
like the beginning of the Punisher.
yeah, because I feel like he can kill them. But you're right; they'll like laugh at him like the Joker while he's beating them or something.
Yeah,
like everybody's unhinged.
Yes,
but
man,
he just feels,
especially Parnell in that scene. He is so over the top.
He is.
As this like
it's so
dipshit
weird.
toy store employee.
Yeah, making this like Jim Carrey type face.
He's
like,
really going for it.
Yeah, it's unpleasant. And then again, Arnold is like he scares me when he's running around that mall all desperate. And it's like, if you nail an old lady, you'll kill her. You know, like, and I believe you will run into an old lady.
He's
you
chasing
care.
that little girl into the playground. So it's like,
Yeah.
man, he's like a moose in there.
Yeah, he's terrifying because he's like desperate. And
man.
like this really like scary way.
I think maybe the way I think the mistake was maybe making this a kids movie. If this was because I could see the character that he is playing in this movie being funny in a movie that had more teeth, because this movie's too mean to really work as the slapstick comedy it is. In my opinion. So I feel like they needed to age it up a little bit in order for this character to work as it's written and as he plays it.
I think so. Or they needed to play off the idea that his character is not an asshole. Like, I like the idea that he's actually like a really gentleman who's very good and he's driven to being more, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that could be fun too, yeah.
Where like he's more like him in like Twins or something, where he's just like a little more naive, because it's just like, he's like the part I thought worked that I wish, like if Ryan Reynolds was in this, they would play this up, is when he pretends to be an undercover cop later when the cops show up and he like is quick on his toes.
Yeah.
He grabs a fake badge. Like I kind of wanted more of that, where he's like a little more sneaky. But the problem is, since he's so muscular, you're like, well, he would barge his way into most situations. Like he would use his strength.
They do try to downplay it. I give the movie credit for that. It's they keep him in that big overcoat, and he's got several scarves on all the time, and they really don't have him beat anybody up. It's just the Santa scene. Where
he doesn't he hit Sinbad with a phone like he's Russell Crowe?
Yeah, but Sinbad also hits him with his like they knock each other down. It's why like it's slapstick. They're like Bugs and Daffy.
Sure.
And I
think
think
the problem is
part of
one
the reason
of them is
maybe part of the reason they cast Sinbad is because he's like the same size as Arnold.
Right. It still made me flinch though, because Arnold does feel more terrifying.
Could you
So, like,
imagine
do that
him
style of
bashing
comedy?
Joe Pesci with the phone?
Oh my god.
It's like
Joe
half
Pesci
his
just
size.
dies right there on the spot.
And like 15 years older, I think. Well, not that older, but Pesci is older, I believe.
Yeah.
By a not a small amount of years.
But that's the thing, is like doing that style of slapstick. I think when one of them is a muscle man is like genuinely scary. Where it's like him slapping someone feels like it would kill them. You know what I mean? Like,
Depends on who it is.
yeah. And so it's just like doing that style with Schwarzenegger is really, it's just unnerving. It's just like, I'm scared for everybody in the scene.
Oh, right. He knocks out the reindeer. I think that's the time that they really deploy it. And I think that's a good joke. I mean, it's the Mongo joke, but still, it's funny because it's just him and it's all come to a head. He's burned down Phil Hartman's house. His marriage is probably over, and this reindeer is coming at him. He's like, all right, motherfucker.
Right. That's another.
Had it.
It's so weird. That there's another moment there that I feel like doesn't fit Arnold. It's weird because I wish they wrote the film to accommodate Arnold. And so
it's clear he was plugged into this rather than this was not written for him, I don't think. I mean, obviously
it doesn't feel that way.
They probably touched some things up in the way that they do, but yeah.
Because I think I want Arnold in it. It's just that this movie, because later when he's rock bottom, he's drinking beer. And I think there's only 2 movies I can think of where Arnold drinks beer. And I don't believe it in both. It's End of Days, where he makes that beer pizza smoothie.
Oh my God, yeah.
And this, where they're trying to show like a man at rock bottom. And I'm like, that is not a man who drinks beer. I'm sorry, it just isn't. Like look at this guy drinking a fucking can of beer, and I'm like, no.
If you think Arnold
Sorry.
doesn't like meticulously monitor every carb that enters his body since 1960, I don't know what to tell you.
Right, it's just really hard.
He's
It
not
reminds me
sitting
of
down
like,
pounding beers looking like that.
yeah, it reminds me of like Jason Statham in The Meg. They do that too, where he's like a drunk. Whenever an action person, they try to like Van Damme in Time Cop, where he's like drinking whiskey, and I'm like, no, he isn't. No, he isn't. like,
There's
look
less,
at this
I
man.
mean, there's sugar in it, so you're still getting a decent amount of carbs, but
if
it's less empty calories than beer, Dave. He's making the responsible bitching decision.
Yeah. When they're skinnier, you can kind of get away with it because you can kind of like cover it up, where it's like Jason Statham with his shirt off and you're like, look at those muscles. He is not drinking a beer in the afternoon. But Schwarzenegger, it's like you just can't cover that up. You can't hide the fact that he is Arnold Schwarzenegger. And so when he's drinking the beer with the reindeer, I was just like, nope, I do not believe this for a second. It's all to say that like there's nothing he's doing as best as he can. It's just that it's what we're saying. They didn't write the movie for him.
No, and it's I mentioned that they sort of the fact that he's big strong muscle man doesn't really come into play a lot, and that's probably part of the reason why is it wasn't written for him, presumably.
They probably added a few lines. That's it. And it's like everybody has to like pretend he's not that. But it's like you really like this script called for someone like a young Bill Murray or a Jim Carrey or Ryan Reynolds, like that's what they wrote this script for. And so like, it sounds like since he was going to do Planet of the Apes, it sounds like, they just like threw him in this.
Yeah. Cause that was also a Fox movie. So it feels like they just kind of moved him to a different project or something. I don't know. Yeah. This is a weird one for old Arnold. He's Howard Langston is, not a cool dude. Kind of a prick.
It's not his fault. Yeah, it's just the tweaks. I don't know. Any other thoughts about him as
a character?
As a character?
No, I mean he's gonna owe Ted a lot of money.
Yeah.
Burned down his house.
Oh
Although
yeah, and assaulted him.
He does
she
try.
assaulted him
He
as
does
well.
try to assault Rita Wilson in the car. So
Yeah. No, I don't think Ted's telling anybody.
yeah, I don't think Ted's calling the police on that one.
I mean, speaking of which, let's talk about Definitely Not Arnold, our best side characters, and we might as well start with Ted,
yeah,
the mom fucker.
yeah. Ted the motherfucker.
Yeah, he's divorced, and his grift is that he finds women who clearly like are having trouble, marital trouble, and fills in for the husband, and then fucks the mom.
It's not.
That's his grift.
Yeah, it's not clear if they're all married, but he just likes to move from mom to mom. He likes being the dad that all the single dad that all the moms are impressed with,
Yeah,
and that's his game.
Yeah. He's cucking Arnold. He's Arnold cuck.
Yeah,
he's a Christmas cuck.
That's a bold cuck, man. I don't know.
Arnold could kill him.
Yes.
with a punch.
And would probably.
Yeah, it's wild how he's. It doesn't.
Maybe it's the thrill of the hunt for him. He's like, oh, this is the most dangerous game.
because he also sticks it right in his face.
Yes,
Like,
he's
he
doing it
keeps
right in front of him.
taunting him.
Yeah.
he's like evil Ned Flanders the whole time.
Yeah,
Like, he's like,
that's exactly the way I've always thought about him.
yeah, he's like nice, but there's some great darkness. Like you want to check his basement. Like you got to see what's in that basement.
He's got some dark porn down there at the very
Oh,
least.
yeah.
He has buried pornography before. That's the kind of guy he is.
Oh, 100%. And yeah, he rents a reindeer like a maniac. Like that's one of the darkest things I've seen.
He just goes. He does everything over the top.
I need to amend that actually. He buys a reindeer because he says, I'm thinking of after when this is all done, putting him loose. And so that implies he didn't rent that reindeer. He has purchased.
He owns the
He
reindeer. Wow.
owns the reindeer. And then his plan is to use it for Christmas and then let the reindeer just loose where it will presumably die. Because it doesn't know how to take care of
because
itself.
it's been raised in captivity. All of its
That
meals
is-
have been brought to it.
Yeah, that is fucking unhinged.
Yeah, he's a dick. He's great.
Yeah.
I fucking love Phil Hartman in this movie. He's
Oh,
so
yeah.
smarmy.
This was his last film that released while he was alive. I don't know if that means like it was probably something that came out after.
Small
but-
Soldiers.
Yeah, there it is. But he had already passed.
Another weird movie that really whiffs.
Yeah. I kind of want to rewatch that one.
Yeah, that's another
That's a
one that's like
fascinating
weirdly
movie.
disappointing to me too. I think
Yeah.
I think this movie is better than Small Soldiers, but anyway, that's irrelevant.
Yeah, I remember Small Soldiers being boring, and this is not boring. Speaking of not boring, let's talk about Myron.
I love Myron.
Yeah, he's just doing his own fucking like falling down.
He's in his own
just-
movie, man.
Yeah. He's a mailman.
I need to know how his day started. And then
Yeah.
also part of me never wants to know. Like
I think
falling
his
down.
days-
Part of me just wants to, like the Joker. He just appeared in line next to
Yeah.
Arnold, and that's the only thing we know about him.
I think his day started with him finding his family dead and then railing cocaine. That's the only sense he makes to me. But yeah, like he shows up still dressed in. He's always in his mailman uniform.
I assume he was on the job because he's carrying his mail bag too.
Right. I think he also uses. Yeah, you're right. He's
And
definitely
he uses his mail
fired.
truck too. So he's doing this while he's supposed to be delivering mail.
He's using it because I think the mailman can get places. Right. He's like a serial killer. He's operating like a serial killer.
That's true,
Where it's
yeah.
like dressed like a public servant, and then yeah. He's immediately at 11. He's like screaming at Arnold about toy cartels and subliminal messages the first time he meets. And then he immediately assaults a woman in public. He grabs a lady and
Oh, yeah.
starts like wringing her neck. Like this is his first scene.
That's right. Yeah, he's so unhinged.
Yeah, the first scene he could be arrested.
He should have
he's
been, probably.
assaulting he's screaming and assaulting someone in public, and it only keeps going.
Yeah, it escalates.
He does multiple terrorisms.
Mhm.
He threatens He threatens a radio station with a mail bomb. That turns out to be not a mail bomb, and then he does it again while cops are pointing their loaded guns at him. He threatens a group of cops with a mail bomb. that is in fact an actual mail bomb.
Yeah.
When he gets arrested, he's never leaving jail. Like, he's going to Guantanamo. He used an actual mail bomb on the police. It
Listen,
goes off.
Dave, he didn't know.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna get out of that with that excuse. He tells the cops, "I have a bomb, put down your guns." The cops amazingly don't shoot him and do what he says, and then the bomb explodes. Mind you, it's the other cop's fault. I don't think that matters. not to the court system. And that's still not the worst thing he does.
No, he dresses up like Dr. Membrane. I forget his name.
After I'm gonna say killing that man. I'm just gonna go ahead and say he kills that actor.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that guy's
float actor.
dead. That guy's
Yeah.
like strangled to death with a horrible Ring video look on his face on top of a roof somewhere.
100%.
Yeah, he steals Dr. Membrane's costume and kidnaps Arnold's son.
He kidnaps a child.
He sure does.
He's going to the Manson jail. You know, like we're never gonna see him. He's gone.
It's
if he
probably
had
for
a
the best.
family, don't give him that toy. It's just a waste of the toy. Like, that toy is not going with him. I love the cops are like, yeah, we'll keep it with him.
Yeah, we'll
No.
make sure he gets to get this toy home to his kid.
Yeah, he did federal crimes.
We're just breaking it in front of him in the van. No.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh gosh.
He's
Fucking Myron.
Myron, oh my fucking god. It's real dark.
It
Such
is.
darkness in
It
that
is
character.
bonkers that it escalates to kidnapping.
I think they're playing off of that 90s The Mailman, the postal worker
yeah.
stuff. Right?
Well, he says that at one point.
right.
He says, "I'm a postal worker, so you know I'm unstable."
Right. But the movie agrees. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this is how they are.
We all did in 1996.
Yeah, it's true. Liz, the wife, we already talked about it, but the fact that she can't tell that that's her husband, I think is worth noting is like a really unhinged thing. She has some sort of condition, some sort of blindness.
She's never noticed he's an Austrian muscle man.
All right. She also knows he doesn't have the toy, right? Like, there's no way she doesn't know from the start. Where she asked him about the toy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I gotta go." It's one of those where it's like, how do you not know that he clearly? I don't know.
He obviously didn't get the toy. He has never gotten anything.
Yeah,
When has he ever come through?
yeah. I have some other minor ones. The reindeer itself, it's just living a life of agony.
Ted the reindeer.
Yeah. Ted the reindeer. It's a prisoner. It got purchased. Then a muscle man punched it and got it drunk, and it will be released into the wild. It has a short and cruel life.
It's gonna die sick and confused.
Yeah. It's not great. The parents, which we sort of talked about, who never they just stomp out that toy store worker. Like they are just the hordes of parents in this are nightmares.
Oh yeah, it's just like a horde of zombies.
Yeah, they are. We should probably talk about Jim Belushi.
Jim Belushi and Paul White, the crooked Santa operation.
Mall Santa toy smugglers, which does make sense.
Yeah,
Like, if you're going to be a toy smuggler, be a Mall Santa. He has his elf take a picture of himself with Turbo Man in the newspaper.
today's newspaper. Yeah,
Yeah. Brings him to the dock with this fucking...
Arnold follows him to a second location.
He does. Really don't do that with Mall
Don't do
Santa
that.
Jim
Don't do that with a
Belushi.
guy you met in the parking lot.
Yeah. And then they have the audacity. I guess this is more of why you should be afraid of him. They sell him to his face like a shoddy Turbo Man. And it's like he figures it out right there and they don't care because they're going to beat him to death.
Yeah, they're just gonna kill him.
Yeah, with their giant muscle man.
They will
Santa
kill him
and their
for $200.
ninja Santa. Yeah. They're like foot soldiers. Like they have a...
Yeah,
They
he
have-
stumbled into like a Dickensian like child's crime gang, except they're all
Yeah.
Santas.
They're Batman villains, right?
Yes.
Like the Santa theme, Doc work, like they work for the Joker. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they work for the Joker. It's so weird. It's such a weird offer.
The motorcycle cop.
Traffic cop who picks up the bomb and is like, I worked on the bomb
Very
squad.
confidently picks up this bomb.
And his answer is like, I worked on the bomb squad is to open the bomb. And I'm like, certainly that's not what the bomb squad
Probably
does.
what first thing they taught you not to do in the
Yeah, get
bomb
a
squad.
A fucking robot does that, right? Like that's what a robot does. And then he's just generally a cop.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep.
He keeps getting his hands injured. His hands get brutalized in this movie. They get blown up,
Yeah.
covered in hot coffee.
Great delivery of you broke my little mirror.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
or his motorcycle.
Bowl cut kid, the girl who steals the ball.
Oh
and
yeah,
seems to she eats the ball,
Mhm.
and she's like, this Austrian demon is chasing her, and she's just having a blast with it. Like she seems like it's like lightly Damien-esque like vibes.
yeah.
And then her mom just wails on Arnold and all the other moms. It's just again where it's like, why is this kid so sinister? I have two more.
Right, she
little-
never speaks. Anyway,
No, she doesn't. She's haunting.
she's this weird alien child who
Yeah.
steals the ball.
I think this might be the weirdest fucker of this movie, and we only hear his voice. It's the caller who calls the radio station to name the reindeer,
And
he
says, like,
names
Tito,
Randy,
Jermaine.
Jermaine,
Oh, yeah.
Tito, and it was like, are you fucking serious, man? What is this, man? What is this? Who is this? I want to know more about this guy who fucking thought that's what the reindeer, because he's earnest. He's not like prank phone call.
Right, yeah, he's trying to win this Turbo Man. He legitimately thought he got the Jackson 5 and Santa's reindeer confused.
Yeah. What? How do you do that? That's rock bottom.
You don't. You don't do that.
You don't. You don't. I have one more, and I think this is the biggest unsung hero. We never see him. Whoever designed the floats, whoever designed that parade, who said we should give Turbo Man a working jetpack
And we should create and produce a working jetpack.
that takes him miles in the air.
He
Like,
almost
it is
smashes
not-
through some office buildings.
Right. Like
He
in
could
my
have
head,
just been dead Turbo Man on the 32nd floor.
yes. In my head, I always imagined this scene. I forget that part where he like Superman's around.
Yeah, he's like zooming through the city.
I always in my head go like, surely that's not what happens. He just sort of lifts off a little bit, and it's like, no, it is
No,
a
he
fully functioning.
Takes complete flight.
Yeah, for
Like-
a parade.
Like Iron Man.
Someone designed that for the parade. He also has like working weapons and stuff that come out of his like arm and stuff, like his boomerang.
Yeah,
works.
his boomerangs and his discs.
Who did that? He need whoever I'm imagining like an ex-CIA
Right, like
gadget
it's
guy
like-
or something.
Like their dream project was to work on Turbo Man, so they just
Yeah.
made the outfit and everything fully functional.
Right, they were planning on taking the costume or something home, and instead, I guess Arnold gets it. At the end, they're just like, he just has the costume. It's weird.
Right, they all
just-
behave like he is Turbo Man.
yeah, they're just like, all right,
And
you
not
earned
like
it.
Alan, the day player they hired.
Yeah,
or
who
whatever.
stole this costume, who was basically kidnapped by that stagehand, who just like shoves him in the costume. But yeah, who did that? Who built all that? That's amazing.
Some wondrous Imagineer.
Yeah. The government needs to recruit that person because otherwise it means we're living in a world like there's two options there, right? One is that person is like Tony Stark and like he immediately needs to be recruited to like make actual packs and weapons, or we live in a world where that's just unremarkable, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like where apparently like everybody has packs in this universe or something.
Maybe that's
Because no one seems that impressed by it.
Yeah, they're not looking at it like it's the most shocking and unbelievable thing they've ever laid their eyes upon.
They're not.
Maybe that's why he's so successful as a mattress salesman. Maybe he sells mattresses with jetpacks.
Maybe.
It would explain
Yeah.
why he's so capable of using it.
I would take one of those. That'd be
Zooming
awesome.
through the air while I'm catching Z's.
Yeah. Yeah, you take a vacation, you just get on your mattress and then you wake up in Aruba or wherever. And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good idea. That's all I got. Any other best side characters?
There's like Booster, right?
Oh yeah,
It's Booger
Curtis
playing,
Armstrong. Yeah.
Playing Booster.
I love me some Curtis Armstrong. Yeah.
Harvey Korman has a brief cameo in the beginning as the president and as I forget the bad guy's name, Dr. Membrane or whatever.
Oh yeah. Yep. Not bad.
But that's all.
Yeah, Curtis Armstrong is a great pick. Whenever you need like a dude who seems like he's at rock bottom, they always get him.
Yep, he's got rock bottom face, and he knows
He
it.
does. He knows it. Let's talk about the most Arnold. This is the moment that is Arnold being Arnold.
I mean, it's when he punches the reindeer in the face, right?
Oh, interesting. That is a very good one. I had another one. And this is the only time it felt like Arnold, is put that cookie down.
Yeah, put that cookie down!
Yeah. That's one for like the soundboards, you know? Like that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a good Arnold.
Solid Arnold moment, yeah.
You're right. Punching a reindeer, though, is that feels like something he'd do in like Kindergarten Cop.
They're both,
100%.
man.
They both seem like something he'd say in Kindergarten
Right, like
Cop
it's all,
too.
put the cookie down is almost a Kindergarten Cop joke.
Yeah, it really is. Only he's saying it to Phil Hartman.
Saying it to Phil Hartman, yeah. Oh, these cookies.
It's so good.
He's such a prick.
And again, a prick to Arnold. Like, it's like he wants to die.
Yeah.
He's done so much bad stuff. He just wants to be punished for it. Yeah, I think those two, we nailed it. So now it's time for our rating system. Our classic.
Man. Our classic all-time
Where-
rating system.
Yeah, hidden flasks. We're doing between 1 and 50 hidden flasks. But as you guys know, the less flasks, the better.
The less hidden flasks, the better it is.
Yeah.
You need more. If it's bad, you got to get more hidden flasks in there.
Yeah.
This is you guys know it's the rating system we've always used.
Yeah. What would you say between 1 and 50? How many hidden flasks?
I'm gonna give this 53 hidden flasks.
Oh, okay. So I was going to give it only like 40 because I would say like, yeah, you need a lot of hidden flasks to get through this, but I think there is some entertainment in how bizarre this movie is.
Oh, for sure, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
I do genuinely have a soft spot in my heart for this movie. I've seen it so many times.
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, again, it's not boring.
No,
Like you brought up Small Soldiers of all things. Small Soldiers, if I recall, was kind of boring. So like this one is at least interesting in that it's like, really? This is the movie, huh? You know, like
by the time Arnold's flying through the air on a jetpack, you're like, huh.
I think this movie got away from them a little
It
bit.
got away from itself.
Yeah, just a little bit. Well, shit, that's an episode.
Man, yeah.
Thank you, Norm from Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. What's next? What's after Jingle All the Way?
Batman and Robin.
That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited for that.
Oh, man, that's going to be a robust episode. There are
really
so many technically not Arnold heroes in Batman and Robin.
Yeah, literal heroes.
There's a lot of choice
That's one-
performances in Batman and Robin.
I can't fucking wait. Yeah, that movie. That's one for the ages. Like that movie is.
That's wall-to-wall madness. It's like that movie is an assault.
It is. It's almost artful. Like it's almost feels like it's like
yeah.
a Gilliam film. Where you're like, Jesus Christ.
Almost.
Oh,
Joel
man.
Schumacher knew how to put a movie together.
He really did. Even in an extremely unhinged one like that.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, folks. But for now,
Oh man.
Jingle All the Way.
Man, it jingled, it jangled.
It did. And this was accomplished through our Patreon, patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. You can get custom podcasts on there. There's a tier that allows that. But just for $5 a month, you get access to our exclusive podcasts like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and Spiel Boys. We watch movies every Friday night as well. We have absolutely watched this movie.
Yes, we have.
Probably will again. Let's be honest, folks.
It's been
probably will
several
again.
years, so it might happen again soon.
Yeah. But yeah, check that out.
We also have a store. Head over to GamefullyUnemployed.com. You can find a link to our Teespring store, where we have all kinds of cool original artwork and designs you can get on t-shirts, mugs, stickers, posters. So slap your little turbo peepers onto that.
Yeah, your TPs. Slap your TPs on that.
TPs.
Mm-hmm.
And
Turbo
remember,
peeps.
always keep your promises if you want to keep your friends.
Does he? He doesn't keep his promise, does he?
No, that's when the kid yells at him.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's when Arnold's like, I've had it to here with Turbo Man. Now
All
put
right.
your mother on the phone. And he's like, you
a
suck,
jerk.
Dad. You're a piece of shit and you're a monster and you never get me toys. You suck and I hate you. And he hangs up on him.
Yep.
And then
he
she
goes
walks
and
in the
he-
room. She's like, God damn it, Howard.
Yep. And
I
then he
know
goes
this
and kills
movie too
younglings.
well. Yeah, he goes in the next
Yeah.
room and kills some younglings. Yeah. Vents his frustration.
All right. Later, Gator.
Bye.
Australia.